Connect Forth News and Sport.
Students who attend Forth Valley College's Stirling and Ratblock campuses will have a revised bus service in place when they return after the April holidays.
The current 101 service will be withdrawn by first bus from the 3rd of April, and there will no longer be a specific bus service running regularly throughout the day to these campuses from the town centre.
Instead, a new service, the 57C, will be introduced to serve the main students' start and finishing times. Students can continue to use the 57 service, which will have a revised route and timetable. The C11 and 59 services, both of which stop near the college entrances, are also available for students, and there have been no revisions to either of these timetables.
Further information and current timetables are available on the First Bus website at www.firstgroup.com.
Connect Forth News and Sport.
When you enrolled as a student at Forth Valley College, you automatically became a member of the Student Association. This year the SA offers a representation for the student body, ensuring that your voice is heard. And they will offer advice on different issues and situations such as academic or welfare. Also, as a member you can gain access to the online student blog Fusion, and it also means that more support is made ready available to you throughout the year. So why not get involved with the Student Association and email us at student.association@forthvalley.ac.uk or phone us on 01324 403 290 or follow them on Facebook. Forth Valley Student Association, letting the student voice be heard.
Whether you want to travel across an ancient land, do battle with evil wizards, or traverse the 7 seas, a book can take you there. And here at Waterstones we have a book for every mood. But that's not all. Bring in your student ID and sign up for the Waterstones student card and start earning points towards your next purchase. You collect 10 points for every £1, and every point is worth a penny, so you'll be earning back 10% with every purchase. So come and visit us in the Thistle Centre or on Falkirk High Street and pick up your next adventure.
Remember, at the last stroke of midnight, the spell will be broken and all will return to what it was before.
Here at Cineworld we can help you escape to the past, present and future. With everything from Hollywood blockbusters to independent films, we have it. Sit back and relax, as students will receive a discount off all tickets with just a show of their student card. Or also you can get 10% off if you book online at Cineworld's website.
I was designed to save the world. People will look to the sky and see hope. I'll take that from them first.
So come along to your nearest Cineworld.
Connect Forth feature.
There are few things that students love more than a night out with their mates, in which they will have highs, lows, and probably wake up with a whole host of regrets about their antics from the previous night. Or if they're lucky, wake up next to someone else. This love for drinking is reflective of modern day culture, and most likely reflected in their grades, with it becoming a staple of our generation to turn an entire student loan into crates of beer, and then turn it into some major regret, and then maybe a little bit of sick. However, just what is it that causes students to spend so much money for so little in return? Well, that's exactly what I intend to find out as I journey deep through the slippery dance floors and no doubt get held up in the never-ending queue for a drink. Although today nightclubs are considered generally a place exclusively for the under 25s, no matter how much your weird uncle will tell you otherwise. However, it wasn't until recently that nightclubs became so synonymous with the youth of our country. In fact, the history of nightclubs is far more interesting than most of the lame dance moves we've seen in clubs today. The earliest recordings of clubbing, as we now call it, can be traced all the way back to the 1920s. Retro, I know. Working class Americans at the time would gather in bars and dance to music played from a jukebox or live performances. Karaoke perhaps? However, nightclubs had a very rough start in life due to the prohibition of alcohol in the United States. Banning alcohol, I know, crazy right? and then World War II. The Nazis banned nightclubs again. Not a great start. It wasn't until the 1970s that nightclubs would rise up as part of mainstream culture due to the introduction of disco, flashing lights, and allowing people to freely express themselves through dance moves that were fresher than the new top that you just bought from Vreemark. During this time though, clubs still catered to an over 30 audience. It wasn't until the 90s that nightclubs became a staple of being students, out to spend their loans and dance away their woes. Or if you can even call what they're doing dancing. It was around this time that lads' holidays and lass holidays became very popular as well. But in today's culture, as we all know, lads' holidays are just something we'll have to deal with, even becoming a part of popular culture in movies such as Kevin and Perry Go Large, and of course the In-Betweeners movie. Well, now that we've brushed up on our history, it's time to get into the nitty and gritty of what I'm trying to work out here. And that is clubbing worth it? So, just what is the cost of clubbing? Well, within the first week of starting university, students are estimated to spend over £200 on alcohol and getting into bars and clubs. Now, if they were to only do this once a month after 1 year at uni, they would have spent around £1,500 purely on clubbing. And that's being generous. In order to see if this would have any effect on how often students go on nights out, we decided to ask them the big question. Does the cost of clubbing affect how often you do it?
I think that's a massive waste of money.
That's pretty accurate, I think. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
No, the price doesn't really bother me.
I earn enough money to go out and do it when I feel like it.
Well, as long as it's a good night and the price doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it does, because if you want to go out on a Friday night for a cheap night out, you're not going to go to an expensive club.
I think as a student, the price of clubbing does affect it, because I don't have a lot of money, and when clubs are asking for like a tenner to get in, I just can't do it.
Well, it seems pretty clear that the price of clubbing doesn't really have an effect on why students go clubbing. So that leads to a new question. Why do they go clubbing? In order to fully understand just why students love to go out and go on the lash, as they put it, we designed an experiment that would show us the brain activity that goes on in a student's mind when the concept of a night out is brought up. However, we then found out the budget of the show and decided it would be easier to just ask them.
There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do in halls. I don't like doing sports, so drinking's my sport.
Because I've got low self-esteem issues, and boys buying me drinks makes me feel better about my life.
To have a good time when I'm out, I like to go out with my friends. You know. It's a good. I quite enjoy the atmosphere.
I don't drink.
Well, I go to clubbing to have a good laugh with my pals, and it's a good night.
It is clear that clubbing is merely a social lubricant for students, and not the Durex kind. A way to relax and forget all their cares while getting to meet new people and spend time with those that they already know, in an environment full of people all doing the same thing. And can you really put a price on that? Well, yes, but they're all gas, so who cares? With all the time that students spend in these clubs, we thought it would be beneficial to hear the opinion of someone on the other side of the spectrum by speaking to someone who works in a nightclub. So joining me now is David Marshall, who works full-time in nightclubs. Thanks for joining us, David. Could you give us an idea as to what it is that you do?
Yes, I'm a lighting technician. So all those flashing lights that you see in the clubs like Foo Bar, Dusk, are usually set up by guys like myself, eh? We're usually forgotten about in favour of the DJs, eh? See, the DJs, eh? They would be nothing without guys like us.
So what are the reasons that you think people, particularly students, come to nightclubs so often?
Well, I think we both know why all the lads come along to the clubs, eh? And you can't blame them for that, eh? But I suppose it's just a place for them to hang out, cut loose, spend a little time with their pals or mates. I suppose it's just expected that students should go clubbing, eh? And that's probably why a few actually do go as well.
How have your views on clubbing changed since you were young and used to go clubbing?
Well, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for clubbing, I would probably be doing a lot better in life. to be fair. But I couldn't find the balance, I just couldn't get the balance. And in the end, clubbing won. It won for me, I knew I'm stuck in a club.
Right, well, thank you very much for talking to us, David, and it was very helpful. Now we have a very rare find out in the wild, and that is the 21-year-old who has not only never been drunk, but doesn't drink. And yes, he is a student. Now we know that most students go clubbing as a means of socialising and to become better acquainted with classmates and friends, and so we asked our guest Chris a bit about this. Do you feel that you would be closer with your friends and classmates if you were to go out drinking with them?
Yes. I do. I've got a select group of friends, and they all drink, and they do quite a lot of drugs. But I sincerely believe that within every group, there has to be one person on the straight and narrow, Ronnie. There has to be one person who's going to remember the night before. One person who's going to drive people home in emergencies. It's quite a noble duty, I think, when you think about it, really. Who else is doing that? Nobody. I'm doing that.
And so, what are your friends and classmates' feelings about you not going clubbing with them?
Well, they like it because they don't have to pay for taxis. I think they're using me, to be honest, but, you know, they talk to me.
So why is it that you choose to not go drinking and clubbing?
Just never really took a shine to it. Alcohol makes me ill. Makes me very nervous and agitated. I was in cushion. I was having a vodka and coke, and there really wasn't much vodka in it. But 3 or 4 sips and I felt cold, and I felt like there was too many people in the room, and I was kind of like losing my mind a wee bit. But I don't know if that's because someone put something in my drink.
Thank you very much for joining us, and I'd say don't get too drunk, but we know that's not going to happen. So I'll let you show yourself out. Well, I think that sums everything up perfectly. Clubbing is just a part of being a student, unless you're someone like Chris. It's a ritual, almost something that they do without a second thought as to why or how much it will cost them. And the reason for that is because everyone else is doing the same. Well, I think after that journey to the centre of clubbing, we all deserve a night out. I've been Ronnie Brody. Thanks for listening.
Connect Forth feature.
I would love to get fit, but the gyms are just too expensive, and I don't have the time.
Well, now you do. With gyms available on our Falkirk, Alloa and Stirling campuses, students only pay £20, and that's for a full year.
Wow!
Open Monday to Friday. Check the times for your campus's gym. Come along, and we'll give you a workout.
FVC really is the place to be.
If you need help coping with stress, anxiety, or any other issues making a negative impact on your life, Forth Valley College has their own counselling service, and our college counsellor can speak to you in complete confidentiality. The Learner Advisory Team can help by making a referral to the counselling service, who can then help to resolve your difficulties within a number of counselling sessions. If you feel that accessing this service would be beneficial, then please speak to a learning advisor at main reception at any one of our 4 campuses.
Come visit the View Cinema in Stirling. We are here to fulfil all your movie needs. Are you a student? Extra bonus. You can come along and watch a film for as little as £6.80 at off-peak times and £7.95 at peak times. Teenagers under 18, you can get in even cheaper than that. You can also take advantage of our Super Tuesdays, where you can get up to a third off your ticket prices. Just visit our website and sign up to receive your exclusive code. Is there a film you fancy that isn't out yet? Hop in and book now. Never miss out on an opening night again. For more details about the View Cinema Stirling and to find out what's on, visit myview.com.
Connect Forth Special.
Noel Gallagher is back with his High Flying Birds and their second album, Post Oasis. Their sophomore effort, Chasing Yesterday, comes 4 years after their chart-topping self-titled debut album, and boy, does it deliver. With upbeat rock pop tunes to slow blues ballads, the album will keep your ears intrigued. The first 4 chords of track number 1, which is called Riverman, makes you feel like Noel is taking you back into the heydays of Britpop, with it sounding eerily like Wonderwall. This is before plunging you into a very mellow bluesy track with one hell of a guitar solo in it. Track number 2, In the Heat of the Moment, was the first single from the album. As you can hear from the chorus, it sounds like he's taken a leaf out of his great Britpop rival's book, with the chorus sounding very Blur-esque. Overall, it's a solid Britpop track and is an obvious choice for the first single off the album. The third track, just like Riverman, starts off sounding like an Oasis classic, this time Master Plan. The Girl with the X-ray eyes then incorporates a surrealist edge to it and could be mistaken for a David Bowie track back in his Ziggy Stardust days. The track is probably my least favourite on the album. Not that it is a bad track, but it just doesn't live up to the same standards as the rest of the songs on the album. Like track number 4. Written and even demoed by Oasis before Definitely Maybe came out, it is a major throwback to the early days of Noel's career. With distorted guitars and nonsensical but ridiculously catchy lyrics, if you're an Oasis fan, you're gonna love this track. The halfway point of the album brings our first proper rock ballad in the form of The Dying Light. The Almost Perfect Arena song has a slight stereophonics feel to it, with a slow sing-along chorus, and it will definitely be a fan favourite when the High Flying Birds tour. The next song in the album is also a ballad called The Right Stuff. The blues track is solely instrumental for the first minute and a half, but when the vocals do kick in, they blend perfectly with the almost teleshop-like music and turn into a very mesmeric track. After 3 consecutive ballads, the album was brought back to life with a trio of upbeat tunes. Firstly, there's a song called While the Songs Remain the Same. While the song is purely just album filler, it is done with the signature Noel style. It is catchy and it's upbeat, which makes it one of the best album fillers around. Up to this point, the only thing that is missing, in the words of Christopher Walken, is more cowbell. It gets it with this next track called Mexican. Heavily led by a guitar riff hook, the song could only have been written by Noel Gallagher. The penultimate song in the album is probably my favourite. It's called You Know We Can't Go Back. Perhaps referencing an Oasis reunion, the distorted guitars, the easy to sing lyrics, the catchiness of the whole thing, means that this is the next best thing to a reunion of the legendary band. The album finishes off with the second single, The Ballad of the Mighty Eye, and it is the perfect way to cap off a great album. With Noel stamping every Gallagher signature on it, it will have the crowds going wild all over the world. The album is definitely worth a listen to if you've liked any of Noel's previous stuff, with track after track being a delicious experience to the ears. And it gets an 8 out of 10 from the Forth Valley team.
Connect Forth Special.
The Evidence Cinema in Bowness is a unique venue that showed great films at low prices.
The Hippodrome Cinema are disability friendly showing and audio description is available from the front door. Tea, coffee, cake is also there too.
The Hippodrome Cinema have great surroundings and experiences. Come along on Saturday at 11 AM, where all tickets are £2.50. You can go to Billy Elliot at the Hippodrome Cinema on the 25th of October at 7 PM. Tickets are £12.50.
You can like the Hippodrome Cinema on Facebook or follow us on Twitter for more information. The Hippodrome Cinema, great films at low prices. Come along and enjoy.
The Bistro of Forth Valley College offers a wide variety of delicious food and drinks. Open from 10 AM till 4 PM every weeknight and open late till 6 PM on a Wednesday, there isn't a time where you won't be welcomed along to the Raploch Community Campus. Whether it's just a coffee and a biscuit you're after or a full meal, the Bistro will be able to meet your catering needs, with breakfast and lunch menus to satisfy even the fussiest of taste buds. So if you fancy coming along to the Bistro, you can make a booking on 01786 272 318. FVC, the place to be for contemporary cuisine.
Connect Forth News and Sport.
Students will have the opportunity to discuss career options with a wide range of employers at the upcoming Careers in Education Fair.
The fair will exhibit employers such as Police Scotland, Office Angels and Business Gateway. Many universities will also be offering guidance, including Stirling, Edinburgh Napier and Queen Margaret University.
Information on full-time and part-time vacancies will be available.
The fair will take place on the 22nd of April at 10 AM in the Stirling campus. It is open to all students.
Connect Forth News and Sport. Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.